Mr. Speaker, allow me to turn to my ground 2. Mr. Speaker, on ground 2, I am alleging that the Deputy President has violated Article 147(1) of the Constitution and has also violated Article 152(1) of the Constitution. Because all of us are not lawyers, please allow me, for purposes of clarity, to read those 2 articles for members to appreciate. Article 147 of the Constitution does state as follows: functions of the Deputy President. The Deputy President shall be the principal assistant to the President and shall deputize for the President in the execution of the President's functions. Article 152(1) states as follows: composition, the Cabinet consists of the following: 1, the President; 2, the Deputy President. The person I am pleading to the House today to impeach is a member of Cabinet. C, the Attorney General. And D, not fewer than 14 and not more than 21 Cabinet secretaries. Mr. Speaker, the importance of this is to show that the Deputy President is assigned to assist the President and is a member of the Cabinet. And what we are demonstrating, Mr. Speaker, because of time, is that the Cabinet has been making decisions. The Deputy President sitting in Cabinet, Cabinet memos come before Cabinet, they are discussed in Cabinet, and then the Deputy President moves out of Cabinet to contradict those decisions. In proving this, I am relying on the affidavit of Mercy Wanjau. Mercy Wanjau is the Secretary to the Cabinet. And in our affidavit that is in my bundle of documents, at page 77 to 79, Mercy Wanjau does in oath state that the Cabinet made a decision to rejuvenate Nairobi River. And when that decision was made, because the law requires that settlement be 30 meters away from a river, the Deputy President was sitting in Cabinet. The Deputy President is actually the chair of Cabinet subcommittees, and I believe he chaired the Cabinet subcommittee that made this decision. However, for political expedience, immediately after the decision was made, the Deputy President moved out of Cabinet and went to the public to oppose the decision. Mr. Speaker, that is inconsistent with the principle of collective responsibility. That is inconsistent with the requirement that once a decision is made, you need to live by that decision. During his televised interview yesterday, the Deputy President said that he's the most compassionate person. He cares so much about the poor. This afternoon, honorable members of Parliament, I want to ask the following question, and if I may be heard in silence. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is on record as being the person who ordered demolitions in Mavoko constituency in Athi River. Yes, yes. Yesterday, he gave half-truths to Kenyans, saying he opposed this Cabinet decision because it was unconstitutional, because he's very compassionate about Kenyans. Why didn't he also go ahead to say that he's also the one who led demolitions in Mavoko constituency? Are the people of Mavoko constituency lesser citizens of this republic? Or is it because in his own thinking, they are not shareholders of this republic? And therefore, I'll be pleading with honorable members to find that the Deputy President has breached the particular articles of the Constitution by being averse to the doctrine of collective responsibility and by contradicting the President and Cabinet decisions. Quickly to ground 3. Mr. Speaker, ground 3.
Tangu mtupatie nafasi ya uongozi, sijapata nafasi ya kuja kusema asante. Nataka kutoka kwa roho yangu ndani, watu ya Kayole, asanteni sana. Mimi najua, nimeona iko shida ya watu ambaye walibomolewa, si ndio? Na nimeona mumeandika vizuri ya kwamba mteue kamati ya watu wachache ndio mkuje niketi na nyinyi. Mtakubaliana? Mimi ningetaka wale watu ambaye walipata shida hii ya ubomoaji, ambaye ni kitu tulikuwa tumeahidi wananchi haitafanyika kwa serikali yetu, mimi ningetaka niwasikize, na nitapanga na mheshimiwa Meja Dong wakuje ndio tukue na nafasi ya kuongea. Tumekubaliana? Tumekubaliana? Tumekubaliana?
Mr. Speaker, that is beyond the affidavit of Mercy Wanjau, which is on record. That is a live video depicting the Deputy President contradicting a cabinet decision, a decision which is sat in cabinet in terms of making the decision. I now proceed to ground number 3 because of time. Under ground number 3, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy President has breached Article 62 of the Constitution, Article 10(2) of the Constitution, Article 174 of the Constitution, Article 186 of the Constitution, and Article 189 of the Constitution. Briefly, these articles relate to the functions of county governments and the cooperation with which the cooperation framework between the national and county government. And Mr. Speaker, then we are relying to prove this ground on the affidavit of His Excellency Johnson Sakaja, the Governor of Nairobi, which in our bundle of documents is contained on page 80 to 84 of my motion. We will also later rely on the oral testimony of Governor Sakaja. And basically what we are saying is that the work of regulating markets is an exclusive function of county governments. And the county government of Nairobi is a government that is independent, but also independent of the national government. And where a function of a county government is independent of the other arm of government, the national government has no mandate at all to interfere in the execution of that document. And in the affidavit of Sakaja, as members would know, Sakaja does state on oath that the county government of Nairobi made a decision to relocate traders from CBD, and the Deputy President recklessly and without regard to the high office that he holds went to incite people to obey lawful decisions of the county government of Nairobi, hence undermining devolution. Mr. Speaker, we invite members to find that the Deputy President did breach and violate the Constitution in terms of undermining devolution and in terms of interfering with the running of the city county of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, allow me now to move to ground number 4. Ground number 4 is about intimidation and vilification of judges, which is contrary to Article 160 of the Constitution. Article 160 of the Constitution speaks to the independence of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, in our bundle of documents, at page 145 to 163, we have attached the decision of Lady Justice Esther Maina, where the Lady Justice Esther Maina found that 200 million shillings assets of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua were proceeds of crime, and directed that the same be forfeited to the state. In intimidating the judge, the Deputy President, in a public statement, accused the judge of corruption and did state that he will file a petition for the removal of the judge solely because the judge found him culpable of crime, of economic crimes. Mr. Speaker, you see, in terms of rule of law, Parliament makes laws. The judiciary interprets those laws and makes decisions. Members of Parliament must ask themselves what kind of a country we shall have if a judge makes a decision that does not favor me, then I will resort to personal vendetta against that particular judge. Mr. Speaker, I will be playing shortly a clip where the Deputy President did threaten to occasion the removal of Justice Esther Maina on ground of our finding that he was culpable of money laundering. I request the media team to play the clip in evidence.
On its threat, with the Deputy President Gachagua now filing a petition to push. Now we begin the bulletin with the war on the judiciary, where Kenya Kwanza administration is making good on its threat, with the Deputy President Gachagua now filing a petition to push for the removal of a judge from office.
Gachagua says he will on Thursday file a petition with the Judicial Service Commission to push for the removal of Justice Esther Maina, who handled an economic crimes case against him in 2022 for alleged corruption and misconduct. Now, speaking in Iten, where he accompanied President William Ruto for a church service, Gachagua told the Chief Justice to first clean up her house by dealing with pending cases with the Judicial Service Commission. Now, in the sustained onslaught against the judiciary, President William Ruto vowed to deal with unnamed government officers he described as incompetent, saying his administration will slay the corruption monster that has reared its ugly head in various arms of government. Chamitai Goin reports.
After Chief Justice Martha Koome invited Kenyans with complaints over the conduct of judicial officers to submit their lamentations to her office, the Kenya Kwanza administration, through Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, has taken the challenge, with the DP announcing that he will file a petition this week.
Amechallenge sisi tutoe ushahidi. I will lead by example. On Thursday, this coming week at 2:15, I will personally present a petition before Lady Chief Justice Martha Koome against Justice Esther Maina for her removal from the judiciary for misconduct and corruption. Mimi mwenyewe nitaongoza because sasa unajua sasa si ametuuliza. Sasa tuko tayari, mimi ndio nitaongoza kwa executive.
Gachagua reliving his July 2022 incident where 202 million shillings was seized to the state after Justice Esther Maina ruled the money was proceeds of corruption having been acquired through dubious means.
Huyo judge, through corruption, declared my hard-earned wealth proceeds of crime without giving me an opportunity to be heard. Against the rules of evidence, where he who alleges must prove. We made an application to cross-examine the investigator, akakataa kwa sababu anajua there is no case. Na evidence tuko nayo vile ilifanyika.
The Kenya Kwanza Battalion.
Mr. Speaker, I will request that we pause the video in the interest of time. In the interest of time, we pause the video. From the utterances, Mr. Speaker, it is clear that the attack on the judge is based on the decision the judge made in performing a constitutional mandate as a judge. It is clear that this is personal vendetta. It is clear that the Deputy President was threatening the judge. It is clear that this is intimidation and an attack on the independence of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, the Deputy President is a president in waiting. And if he cannot, he's a president in waiting. And if he cannot protect and uphold the independence of the judiciary, that becomes a dangerous man. And he must be impeached for that particular reason. Mr. Speaker, I will therefore be requesting members of this House to find that this allegation has been proved to the required standard and approve the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua from the office of Deputy President. On ground number 5, we have alleged that the Deputy President has breached Article 3.1 of the Constitution, Article 148.5